Huge news today and a huge pickup as Florida State lands a commitment from one of their top wide receiver targets in four-star receiver Daylan McCutcheon. Reaching all the way into Texas and winning out over the in-state Longhorns, USC, Ohio State, and even SMU was involved a little bit there. So a big win on the trail, bolstering that receiver group and adding him in with four-star CJ Wiley, who Florida State landed about 2 weeks ago. Now, Kutch is an elite talent. Again, a four-star, top 100 kid, but I honestly even think that is a bit low. He comes in at 5'11", about 180 pounds, another dual sport athlete. He also competes in track and field. So going over the scouting report on him, he's a quick-footed receiver who had enormous production for his high school in his junior year, hauling in over 1,400 receiving yards with 20 touchdowns and 2 kickoff return touchdowns as well. Plays larger than his verified size, has great body control, and is a polished route runner. He can play pretty much any of the receiver positions, but I think he projects as a slot guy, and according to him, he prefers the slot anyways. He says he loves playing the slot because his route running, catching, and speed make him a bigger threat in the slot, and it also gets him matched up with safeties and linebackers, and those are battles he wins every time. And I tend to agree. Watching his film, I think he'll be an absolute nightmare for defenses as a slot receiver. Now, a little bit of backstory in this recruitment. Even though this is a Texas kid, this was always one of Florida State's top targets at wide receiver, and I think they've pretty much led for him all cycle, actually. He's visited campus a ton. He even gave Florida State his last official visit there at the end of June. Again, that big June 21st visit weekend just keeps paying off. Now, like we mentioned, Florida State faced some really tough competition battling USC, Ohio State, and Texas, all schools who run good offenses, but also all schools who are extremely competitive in the NIL space. This is one that reportedly got pretty interesting towards the end. Now, I don't know. Sometimes I think the media just dramatizes some of these recruitments towards the end for clicks, but it seemed to me that Daylan was always planning on leaving the state of Texas, and it seemed pretty obvious that Florida State was the destination, in my opinion. He even has family ties to the state of Florida. Now, yes, things can get weird with NIL involved, and honestly, I'm sure other schools were offering more than Florida State was. USC in particular drops back like crazy. But I just think in the end, the relationships at Florida State won out. I think Mike Norvell and the staff did a great job staying on him and securing his commitment. Now, this was definitely an important gift for Florida State. One, because, like I said, you seemingly led for him all cycle, and Daylan was essentially one of the core members you needed in this class. And again, I think he's super underrated, even despite being a high four-star. This kid is an elite talent, and I'd expect him to have a really good career in Garnet and Gold. And it was especially important to add another receiver. Like we mentioned already, having CJ Wiley in the fold for 2025, and that was kind of your big-bodied receiver type of guy, and now adding in Kutch, who looks to be more of a slot guy. Those are two elite talents to add to your offense, and for Luke Kromenhoek and the other younger quarterbacks Florida State has or is bringing in, you've got to feel really good about this offense and the weapons you'll have at your disposal. Ron Dugas now lands his second big fish of the cycle, and I still think they're looking to add one, if not two more to this class. They still have several uncommitted targets like Vernell Brown, Khalid Lockett, and Malik Clark, and they even still have a few flip targets out there as well. So plenty of options still remain for Florida State to round out this receiver haul, but already off to a great start here with CJ Wiley and Daylan McCutcheon. Again, an absolutely massive pickup for the Noles here. Mike Norvell, Ron Dugans, and essentially this whole staff putting in elite work on the recruiting trail, bolstering the receiver room today and building on what is currently a top 10 class for Florida State, and they're working to make sure it finishes a top 10 class as well. I said it before, and as long as we keep getting commitments like this, I'll continue to say that I think Tribe 25 is going to be Mike's best recruiting class yet. And our prediction is looking pretty good as we sit here in middle July. We appreciate you guys tuning in for another 2025 commitment video. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed pulling top 100 receivers out of the state of Texas, definitely drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more. I've also compiled a playlist of each commitment video we've done for the 2025 recruiting class. So if you want to catch up on who's who and keep track of who all Florida State has landed, definitely check that out. Florida State has several more targets committing within the next couple weeks, so I know we'll be back with more of these commitment videos very soon. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Go Noles.